CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back in Nashville on a sunny, beautiful Christmas Eve day, ready for the Jaguars and the Titans. Over on the Jacksonville sideline, Mel Tucker took over on November 29th after Jack Del Rio was let go. 3 years with Jacksonville as the Jaguars defensive coordinator. Mike Munchak on the other sideline, a Hall of Fame playing career in his rookie season as head coach of the Tennessee Titans. A tough loss for everyone last Sunday, but Mike said that the short week helped, and his guys are focused and ready as they finish out with Jacksonville today and then the Texans next week. Jacksonville won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so Tennessee will have the football to start the game. Mark Mariani, who can be dangerous, made the Pro Bowl a season ago as a return specialist, averaging 23.5 yards a return this year, and he takes it and brings it out across the 15-yard line and brought down near the 25. Matt Hasselbeck leads the Titans out on offense, had a great start to the season, but he's been battling a sore calf muscle and has cooled off in recent weeks. Still, with 15 touchdown passes this season, that is the most by a Tennessee quarterback since 2005 when Steve McNair had 16. Just underway here in Nashville.
I have to keep an eye on Hasselbeck and how his mobility is going to be affected by that calf. It's getting better, but he's not 100%.
Throw on first down. Damian Williams out to the 30-yard line, the Tennessee offensive line. Bruce has played at a Pro Bowl level at left tackle. The backs and receivers, Nate Washington has had a career season in the absence of Kenny Britt, but for the Titans, it's usually about Chris Johnson. When he's on, they win. When he's not, Tennessee has struggled. 2nd and 5 after the pickup of 5. Again, Hasselbeck from the shotgun. From their own 30-yard line. Across the middle, caught. Another first down. That's Jared Cook, the tight end, who's out across the 45-yard line to the 46, a pickup of 16 yards.
Yeah, Jared Cook has started to emerge as Hasselbeck's go-to guy. You see him on the right of your screen running the deep crossing route. Hasselbeck finds him, throws it a little bit behind him. Great job by Cook, but I think in this early going, no question, Matt Hasselbeck doing all he can to take advantage of that secondary of Jacksonville, who's just had too many injuries over the course of this season.
We emerged as part of the Tennessee offense last week with 9 catches for 103 yards. On first down, Chris Johnson. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the Jacksonville defense up front. Hot roast. Terrence Knighton is the big man in the middle. A couple of good ones at linebacker for the Jags. Daryl Smith is underrated, and Paul Posluszny, in his first year over from Buffalo, he's been a tackling machine. The secondary is beat up. Akwasi Owusu-Ansah starts at free safety today for Dwight Lowry. 8 players from the Jacksonville secondary have been put on IR. 2nd and 10, opening possession for the Tennessee Titans. Under pressure, and Hasselbeck did everything just to get rid of it. Daryl Smith was coming in hard.
Well, there's no question they need a pass rush to make things happen here for Jacksonville. Daryl Smith just slips right between everybody, goes right through Chris Johnson. That was going to be a screen pass, and you can tell that's a veteran quarterback. Hasselbeck just said, forget it, throws it right at the feet of Chris Johnson. Let's get out of that play and wait for the next one. That great play by Daryl Smith.
3rd and 10 for the Titans. Trying to keep this opening drive going. Hasselbeck, lots of time, checks it down, and that's going to be a couple yards short of a first down. Jared Cook with the reception, a pickup of 8.
And we've got a penalty deep in the secondary, out on the Tennessee sideline, and this is going to go against
Prior to
Jacksonville.
the pass, illegal use of the hands, hands in the face. Defense, number 31. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They call it on Ashton Yabodi, the cornerback.
Well, Yabodi is probably as veteran of players they have in their secondary right now. You see right there, he gets his hand up in the face of Williams and pushes him outside. He can't get that high, and as Williams dropped down to make that cut, Yabodi got his hand up in his face mask, and that's where the penalty was.
So they place the ball just into Jacksonville territory. First and 10 for Tennessee. Hasselbeck makes the first man miss. Damian Williams with the catch. And he's down to the 41-yard line because Lusney made the tackle.
Well, Hasselbeck is trying to stay alive in the pocket and does a nice job. It's a four-man rush as they bring an extra guy off the left side and drop the right defensive end out into coverage. Hasselbeck has to duck under the pressure and find Williams late on the crossing route. Great job up front as well as Hasselbeck.
They spotted at the 42-yard line. Second down. Good-looking opening drive for the Titans. Back, and he's going to be sacked.
There.
Brought down hard by Leger Duzable, the defensive end.
Yeah. The right tackle and right guard of Tennessee, Jake Scott and Dave Stewart, are having some troubles right here picking up this stunt. And as that happens, you see Hasselbeck knows he's not going to get that football off, just tucks it and gets under. That's a great rush by Duzable.
Duzable starting again today for Matt Roth, who has missed the last 5 weeks with a concussion. Duzable with a career-high 11 tackles 9 days ago in the loss against Atlanta. So 3rd and 11 for the Titans. Hasselbeck going deep and incomplete. Lavelle Hawkins was in the vicinity, but that had no chance.
Yeah, Hasselbeck, when he threw that, I think he slipped with his plant leg. That ball was a terrible throw, and as Hasselbeck let go of it, he looked back at where his plant was. Watch as he lets this go. We'll see if it happens. No, it looked good. And it's his left calf that has been the problem, and that was just a throw that got way inside and was nowhere near the wide receiver.
Jarrett Dillard is back deep, waiting the punt from Brett Kern. Good high punt. Calls for the fair catch, then lets it go, and that was a mistake. It'll be down inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. Opening possession coming up for the Jacksonville Jaguars after the 47-yard punt. Blaine Gabbert brings out the Jaguars on offense, making his 13th NFL start. He has 5 touchdown passes in the last 3 games, but he has struggled here in his rookie year. The league's lowest rated starting quarterback, but trying to end the year, Steve, on a positive note during these final 2 games of the season.
Well, we spoke to him yesterday, and he says little by little he's becoming more comfortable with his decision-making process, and that's exactly what it is. If you can cut out the mistakes, you're going to get better really quickly as a quarterback.
Mel Tucker told us this past week he looked at all of Blaine Gabbert's completions for the season and came away with the conclusion that there isn't a throw that Gabbert can't make. He said he just needs to get more consistent and the people around him to get better, but he has a chance to be something special from his own end zone. Dangerous territory to start for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Look at Blaine Gabbert and his numbers. Averaging 148 yards a game, and like I said, that 10 interceptions is the one thing that you really want to stay away from, and that's not good news right there if Maurice Jones-Drew comes off the field limping.
Hobbles to the sideline, so DeJuan Harris checks in. Harris, the undrafted rookie free agent out of Troy, and he gets it on 2nd down. Tries to power his way forward out to about the 10-yard line. See if we can pick up, Steve, what happened to Maurice Jones-Drew.
First play from scrimmage, just trying to get a little breathing room. He goes in, and right in there, it looked like it happened as he got dragged to the ground. Hard to see. It's so strange. You see all the hits in the National Football League. You see some that look like they would kill an elephant, and then other time, and the guy gets right up without being hurt, and then other times the guy's lost for the season without being touched.
Harris stays in the game. Gets it on 3rd down, and he's going to be stopped well short of a 1st down.
Well, make no mistake, if Maurice Jones-Drew can't continue in this game, Jacksonville has lost one of the fiercest competitors in the NFL. And when you sit down and talk with him, as we do once in a while, you'll never meet a more engaging guy. He's intelligent, loves the game, loves his teammates, and he's a fierce competitor. And that's a real loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars if he cannot continue.
Titans should come out of this with pretty good field position. Mark Mariani standing back at his own 45-yard line. Punt from Nick Harris on its way. Mariani makes the fair catch at the 43. So Maurice Jones-Drew, concern on the Jacksonville sideline here in the 1st quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Radio Shack. Radio Shack has what you need to make the holidays so right. And by the Ford F-150. Available with the efficiency and power of EcoBoost.
No score here in the 1st. 8:53 left to play. Maurice Jones-Drew being attended to on the Jacksonville sideline. Taking a look at that right ankle.
You know, we spoke about, the attributes he brings to the club, his leadership, his fiery nature, his competitiveness, his intelligence. Forget about that. He's also the leading rusher in the National Football League. I mean, there is a little bit of production there. I mean, it's amazing. They cannot afford to lose him.
From the 43-yard line, Hasselbeck center of the field to Cook. He has a 1st down, another big gain on the completion to the tight end in his 3rd year out of South Carolina.
And Cook coming open right again, as well as the Titans are now going to go kind of a muddle huddle. Not a hurry-up offense, but just a picked-up pace. So Hasselbeck can get them lined up very quickly and start looking over that defense. With a secondary in the shape that Jacksonville is, they're not going to be able to disguise coverages like other defenses do. That gives a veteran like Hasselbeck the edge.
The 39-yard line, little stutter step from Chris Johnson. He has a nice pickup on 1st down. Inside the 34, down to the 33. Posluszny made the tackle after a pickup of 6.
You talk about what this Jacksonville defense has been through as you see Maurice Jones-Drew being attended to there on Jacksonville's sideline. There's just not enough experience, not enough accumulated knowledge about this defense by the players on the field that they can do things that other teams can do.
Hasselbeck from the shotgun. Gets it out quickly to Damian Williams. And he fights to get back, Lavelle Hawkins, he fights to get back to the line of scrimmage.
The one thing that they can do, it's becoming obvious, Jacksonville can send pressure. You'll see there once again, I think it's Darrell Smith coming through untouched. That's the 2nd time it's happened here in the early going of this game, and Tennessee's got to find an answer for that.
Jacksonville is a team that has been decimated by injuries. The Jags lead the league in players on IR with 23, but they've had 29 placed on IR overall this season. Hasselbeck finally gets rid of it, and that was a dangerous pass. Johnson was the intended receiver. Darrell Smith tapped it away.
That was a sensational play there. Once again, the pressure starting to get to Hasselbeck as you see him come back in the pocket and has to step around Terrence Knighton. Tries to backhand. I think it's actually Posluszny who knocks that away. Darrell Smith actually scooped it up for the apparent fumble, but the pressure has been the story for Jacksonville's defense. If they can continue to do that, they're going to have a chance.
Rob Baronis on to try a 51-yard field goal. Curves it in and good. One of the NFL's most accurate kickers comes through, and the Tennessee Titans are on the board 3-0. Rob Baronis, who's now 24 of 27 in field goal tries, and now a 5th straight season with 100 or more points, ready to kick it off after his 51-yard field goal. 7:05 left to play in the 1st. Juan Harris is back deep. He's taken over for Deji Kareem as Jacksonville's kick returner. Kareem, by the way, not active today. Fielded deep in the end zone, and he's going to take a knee. Well, subscribe to NFL Magazine, the new official monthly magazine of the National Football League. Available at NFL.com/magazine and newsstands everywhere. Maurice Jones-Drew back on the field. And we were saying during the commercial break, watching him tape up his ankle, that he's the kind of guy, if there's any way that he can get back out on the field, he'll be there.
Yeah, he's going to give it a try. We'll have to watch and see if he's just trying it to see if he can go or whether he's back in the game for good.
1st and 10. Power I formation. They give it to Mojo. That's why you want him in there. He moves the pile out to the 26-yard line. Let's take a look at Jacksonville up front. Guy Wemper is out, so Cameron Bradfield starts today at right tackle. Backs and receivers. Mojo has been the diamond in the rough season that the Jaguars have had this year. Mojo, tremendous, leading the NFL in rushing, close to the best numbers of his career, and not far from the best in Jacksonville franchise history. 2nd and 4 after the pick of a 6. Mojo tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, but will be stopped for a loss by Derek Morgan. Let's take a look at the Tennessee defense up front. They've gotten solid play from their big rookie out of USC, Jarrell Casey. 2 more rookies starting at linebacker. Ayers from UCLA on the outside, and Colin McCarthy has taken over in the middle for Barrett Ruud, and he's played well. In the secondary, Cortland Finnegan, the Pro Bowl corner. He'll try to make it a long day for Blaine Gabbert and the Jacksonville receivers. 3rd and 6. And a whistle before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Will Rackley, the left guard. Gene Steratore is our referee today.
Right down, right there. You see him raise up just a little too quickly.
So 3rd and 12 for Jacksonville. From their own 18-yard line. Gabbert. He's going to take off and slides well short of a 1st down. And once again, Jacksonville will have to punt.
It's not a good series for Jacksonville. They handed it off to Maurice Jones-Drew for a 6-yard gain, and Gabbert drops back, can't find anybody open, but I think there had some guys with some opportunity. You see right out here, the safety there, Finnegan. Actually, that's Hope out there, and got to try and get it into those guys, and that's what Gabbert's there for. One of the criticisms is Gabbert has looked at the rush a little too much and allowed it to focus his attention on that and not on the receivers.
And again, the Titans should come away from this with pretty good field position. Mariani from the 35. And brought down at around the 45-yard line. 4:46 left to go in the first, a 43-yard punt and a 10-yard return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
The 35th meeting between the Titans and the Jaguars. Tennessee holds a 19-15 series advantage, although Jacksonville won when they played back on opening weekend, 16-14. That game was the head coaching debut for Mike Munchak. Titans start from their own 45-yard line. Last time they started from their own 43. Hasselbeck. Cook in stride. Jared Cook, touchdown!
It was a simple cover 2 defense with a 4-man rush up front. Paul Posluszny got matched up on the tight end. Cook got a step on him, and Hasselbeck just threw it in there. It's a classic way to attack the cover 2. You send a guy down the middle, and the 2 safeties on the outside are threatened by the wide receivers, and the linebacker has to run with that guy. And if you've got a linebacker like Posluszny, he can tackle pretty good, but you get him into coverage, and he just could not keep up with the big tight end.
Jared Cook, 3 receptions for 89 yards and that 55-yard touchdown strike from Hasselbeck. Moronis boots it through. 4:39 left to go in the first. And now it is 10-0 Tennessee. Quick strike from the Tennessee Titans. One play, 55 yards. Hasselbeck to Cook. Took 7 seconds off the clock, and just like that, it's 10-0 Tennessee. Moronis kicking it off to DeJuan Harris. He runs over the field at 4 yards deep. Beats one man and then brought down at the 17-yard line. Now let's take another look, Steve, at the touchdown.
Well, it comes out, they call it cover 2 because there are 2 safeties here and here. And as they move outside, it leaves the center of the field wide open for the tight end. You see Puzzlesny drop back. He just gets outrun by the big tight end, and there's nobody left in there. The safeties played really wide on that coverage. Hasselbeck saw it, knew his key was down the middle, and put it right on the big tight end.
Mel Tucker told us he tried to recruit Jared Cook when Mel was at Ohio State. Said he's the kind of guy who gives me nightmares. He's a tough matchup. He's faster than any of our linebackers and bigger than any of our safeties. Mojo to the 20. And let's check in with JB in New York along with Shannon Sharp. Gentlemen.
Since he's still hoping, Shannon.
The day before Christmas, Andy Dalton gave to me, JB, an 11-yard TD pass to Jermaine Gresham. It's 10-0 Bengals, 10-0 Bengals. And they keep their playoff hope alive. 10-0 Bengals over Arizona.
Is he alive, Bill and Steve?
Titans need Cincinnati to lose at least one of their last 2 games as part of a scenario that would allow Tennessee to claim the final wildcard spot. Mojo out in the flat and battling for an extra yard to the 21-yard line.
Gabbert there swinging the pass out very quickly to Maurice Jones-Drew. You know, it gets to a point when you're a young quarterback, you know you can trust certain guys on your team, and obviously Maurice Jones-Drew is a guy Gabbert has got to get the football to, but occasionally you think they do it a little too much. Gabbert not giving that play a lot of time to develop down the field and threw it right to Maurice Jones-Drew, who was covered.
One of the Tennessee Titans is down on the field. And that's the rookie Akeem Ayers. So a timeout here in Nashville. Akeem Ayers lost his helmet on the previous play and took a shot in the head from his teammate, Colin McCarthy. So Ayers remains on the sideline. 3rd and 7 for Blaine Gabbert and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville with only 19 yards of offense so far. Gabbert checks it down. And this is going to be a first down for Jacksonville. Jarrett Dillard with the catch. Dillard has taken over as Jacksonville's number 2 wideout, a career high of 23 catches for 323 yards and a touchdown coming in, and that was good for 11 yards.
Dillard kind of weaves his way through the traffic. Gabbert, as he stepped away from the pressure, threw it back across over the middle of the field for the first down. Gabbert doing a nice job buying a little bit of time in the pocket.
1st and 10. Play action. Gabbert rolling to his right, slings it, and that is caught again by Dillard. Another Jacksonville first down just across the 45-yard line at around the 46. That was good for 13.
This is one of the things you do is you get the quarterback out of the pocket. It's easier for him not only to read the defense because he can only look at half of it, but also to get some momentum behind the throw and get his eyes down the field without having guys coming up in his face. Gabbert, that's a throw you can tell it was much more comfortable for him. Just threw it out. It was right on the money.
Mojo up the middle. Muscles his way out to the 47-yard line.
continue to give Maurice Jones-Drew a lot of carries. And you talk about a guy that can do it. He is the guy. Ever since he came in the league 6 years ago, he's been a fiery competitor. He was a leader almost immediately. Mel Tucker knows that, likes the way he competes, and he's always, it seems, a positive play. Never gets thrown for loss, or at least when he does, it's so infrequent you can hardly remember it.
2nd and 8, short drop toward the sideline, wide open. Zach Potter, the tight end, another big gain, and he is pushed out of bounds close to the 30-yard line.
A little confusion in the Tennessee secondary on the outside as they run a little X right to the right of your screen as the tight end releases out. All the defenders go with the slant route and leave Potter by himself.
Potter had a big play last week on special teams as he returned a blocked punt, 46 yards for a touchdown. One of the few bright spots in the game against Atlanta. It was the Jags' first blocked punt return for a touchdown in 13 years. 1st and 10, Jacksonville on the move, in the seam. That's caught by Colin Clougherty, the tight end in his first year out of Brown, signed earlier this month. And in his first game with Jacksonville, scooped up a fumble on a punt return and scored his first NFL touchdown. And he has a big gain there.
It was a great job by Gabbert getting up, looking out to the left, then coming back and firing the ball right down the seam. You see, looked to the left and then came back, just took one quick glance. Clougherty was there.
22 yards to Potter, and now 21 to Clougherty. 1st and goal. The ball just inside the 10-yard line. Maurice Jones-Drew up the middle. Touchdown. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew. His 11th touchdown of the season.
Blaine Gabbert was 5 of 5 on that drive. And that, we spoke about that in the open. The more balance that Gabbert in the passing game can give to Maurice Jones-Drew, the more productive he'll be. And you see here, Tennessee finally, after getting a quarterback to go 5 for 5 against him defensively, they have to back up and play the pass. That opens it up for the touchdown run.
Josh Scobie with the extra point. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the board with 19 seconds left to play in the first. 10-7, Tennessee. Maurice Jones-Drew, that injured ankle, a distant memory now, came in leading the NFL with 1,338 yards. He needed 58 yards coming in today to set a new career high and was 234 yards away from Fred Taylor's single-season franchise rushing record.
Runs up in, there you see, that's Jordan Babineau coming up to try and make the play in the hole, and he had so far to come because they were backed off in coverage, gave Maurice Jones-Drew too much space to get around him for the touchdown.
Scobie kicks it away. Mariani from the 2. Brought down in a collision at around the 24-yard line. Well, keep your fantasy football season going with Playoff Challenge and compete against the nation for a chance to win $5,000. Sign up now at cbssports.com/challenge. Nearing the end of the opening quarter, eventful here in Tennessee. 10-7 Titans. Final play of this first quarter. Hasselbeck gets rid of it. Nate Washington, and Washington has a Tennessee first down. So that will be the end of the first quarter with our score Tennessee 10, Jacksonville 7. We'll return to Nashville. After these messages, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Ready to start quarter number 2 here in Tennessee. The Titans are trying to win out and then get some help to earn a wild card spot in the postseason. The Jaguars, with a new owner and a new head coach, would like to wrap things up on a positive note trying to spoil things today for Tennessee and then close out the season with a win next week at Indianapolis. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Matt Hasselbeck and the Tennessee Titans. Chris Johnson picks up 2.
Spoke in the open about the importance of Chris Johnson getting off to a fast start. That kind of becomes a moot point when Hasselbeck starts in the game 7 of 10, and 4 of those 7 completions are for 12 yards or longer. Matt Hasselbeck carrying the load, letting Chris Johnson ease into this football game, but you can bet he's a big part of what they've got planned for these last 3 quarters.
Hasselbeck, 3 Pro Bowls with Seattle. He went over 30,000 yards for his career earlier this season. And a pickup there out to around the 44-yard line to Damian Williams. The numbers from the last 2 matchups between these 2 teams.
And the Titans have really struggled in those games. Look at the time of possession. That's an amazing stat right there.
Jacksonville winning both of those, including week 1 this season. 3rd and 2 for Tennessee, and now a flag before the snap.
Yeah, and I think Jeremy Mincey jumped into the neutral zone and
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 94, moved into the neutral zone, causing the wide receiver to false start. It's a 5-yard penalty on the defense. The result is a first down.
They do call it on Jeremy Mincey.
And this is the wide receiver twitched.
Mincey's had a career best 5.5 sacks this season, trying to get a little bit of a jump there. So fresh set of downs for the Tennessee Titans close to midfield.
It has to be the next person on the line of scrimmage. It can't be a guy on the other side of the field that twitches. It has to be a guy right where the guy jumps offside.
Hasselbeck on first down. Cook again, what a catch! Jared Cook.
What a game and a half he has put together. Jared Cook with the big game last week, and now coming across the formation. Hasselbeck stays right with him, loops it in behind this linebacker in front of the safety. Great throw and a tremendous catch by a big guy. And Cook coming on late in the season, really giving them a boost offensively.
And he's already gone over 100 yards, 4 catches for 113 and a touchdown for Jared Cook. And the Titans are on the move again. Hasselbeck with time. A little bit of a miscommunication with Craig Stevens. Stevens slowed down and the ball sailed over his head.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication. Stevens was running, had given up on the route or ran a different route than Hasselbeck expected.
These teams always seem to play memorable games against each other. 19 of their 34 meetings have been decided by 7 points or less, and they played 3 times back in 1999, including for the AFC Championship, with the Titans won to earn a spot in Super Bowl 34. 2nd and 10 for Tennessee. Hasselbeck back to work. That's caught. Stopped just short of the goal line. Nate Washington.
And that was a tremendous catch and a great throw by Hasselbeck to the back shoulder of Nate Washington, and I thought he got in. Watch as he goes up to the top of the numbers, right up the seam, catches it, stumbles, and he might be just short. I think his left elbow comes down just before the ball crosses the line right there. His elbow comes down, he's down. What a great play, though, for Tennessee, as once again they're threatening.
Jamie Harper, the big back, comes in, and touchdown, Harper. The rookie 4th-round draft pick out of Clemson takes it in.
Well, this game's got a different personality than we expected. We thought it was going to be a running back duel between Maurice Jones-Drew and Chris Johnson. Now, with Blaine Gabbert going 5 for 5, driving Jacksonville the length of the field for a touchdown, which answered Matt Hasselbeck's long drive. Hasselbeck answers back and comes down with his own touchdown drive for the 2nd time in the first half.
Hasselbeck 10 of 14 for 168 yards.
It's turned into a quarterback duel, not a running back duel.
Rob Baronis to try the extra point. Right through the middle of the uprights. And Tennessee answers. Harper from the 1. Touchdown Titans. Officially another sellout here at LP Field, over 69,000, including about 5,000 Santas, as the stadium has been sold out for every game.
He brought some helpers.
Yeah, since the stadium opened back in '99, 13 years of sellouts here at LP Field. Tremendous fan support here in Nashville. Titans lead it. 12:03 left to play in the half. 17-7. DeJuan Harris back deep. Squibber takes it on the hop at the 5. And fights his way out to the 26-yard line. And once again, let's take a look at the pass to Jared Cook that set up the touchdown.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage over here, nothing exotic. This play is going to come over. There's nobody deep in this area. All the action is to the top of your screen. Jacksonville can't get it done. Just catches it. Nate Washington goes right to the seam on the inside. Jared Cook dragging the defense to the far side of the field and leaves the opening for Hasselbeck to fit it in there for Washington.
Cook had the one that set that up, as he's got 4 catches for 113 yards. Washington 2 catches for 38. So let's see what the Jaguars can do now. Down by 10 once again. Maurice Jones-Drew out close to the 28-yard line. A pickup of 2.
Hasselbeck talking to Jared Cook. It starts to happen a lot when you start getting a guy that you throw to a lot. You start sitting together on the bench all the time. And as a receiver, I know this, and Cook is no different. As a tight end, the more you catch, the more you want.
2nd and 8 for Jacksonville. Average 5 of 5 for 68 yards so far. He'll throw again, incomplete. Over the head of Clougherty, the tight end. Colin Clougherty in his first year out of Brown. Blaine Gabbert didn't play against Tennessee when these two teams met on opening weekend. He has been the Jacksonville starter since week 3 against Carolina. Has completed just over 50% of his passes for 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Had a couple of fumbles last week against Atlanta, giving him 14 turnovers in 13 games. Facing a 3rd and 8 here. Tried to set up the screen to Maurice Jones-Drew, incomplete. Jacksonville will have to punt.
Yeah, and that's on the quarterback. He had time to throw that to Maurice Jones-Drew and just hurried the throw so much. You see, he had a little more time to wait on Drew, and Jones-Drew saw what was happening. He was going to cut inside and let Gabbert pick a different lane. Gabbert, I think he panicked a little bit. The rush was coming, but he had a little time to wait and be more patient. Let Jones-Drew find another window, and they just threw it too quickly.
Mark Mariani is the deep man. He had a 79-yard punt return for a touchdown earlier this year at Carolina. Moves up to get this one. And again, Tennessee will have very good field position to start out at the 43-44 line, a 36-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. The Samsung Galaxy S2. The next big thing is already here. And by Acura. Acura Advance.
We're back. What do you think about that, Steve? Groucho clause?
I don't know what to say about that. Come to a game, you wear what you want.
At Hasselbeck, 6 completions of 12 yards or more already. He's averaging almost 17 yards a completion.
He's also got 12 yards per attempt. That's a big, big number.
Chris Johnson. Out across the 45-yard line, close to the 46. Well, last week, 17 of the top 20 shows on television had something in common. They were all on one network, only CBS.
Mike Munchak, who a lifetime ago was a teammate of mine for the Houston Oilers, finishing up his first season as head coach.
2nd and 9, and he's done an outstanding job. 17 years with the franchise. Damian Williams with the catch, and he is into Jacksonville territory. Morgan Trent made the stop. Now, I was thinking back in early part of the season when we did a Tennessee game, and you were relating a story to me about Mike Munchak and your sort of initiation into the National Football League.
Yeah, he shaved my head.
Any ill will about that, or are you still okay with it?
I have some emotional scar tissue, but I've let it go.
It is the holiday season. Movement before the snap.
The spirit of teamwork.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Call it on Tyson Alu.
Those are crushers because now it's a first down. You can't miss it. And you try to train your offensive line to do that, but the problem is sometimes a defender will jump like that but won't cross the football. If he does it and doesn't cross the football, then it's an illegal procedure penalty on the offense. So the linemen really have to be disciplined and make sure that the defender comes across the neutral zone.
So 3 times on 3rd down, Jacksonville has been penalized, and that resulted in a first down. Hasselbeck in trouble, gets rid of the football, incomplete. Nate Washington was the intended receiver, and that ball seemed to skip off the ground.
Now they're waving it off. Yeah, and that was Gene Steratore who came in and overruled everything.
Was in the grasp of Jeremy Mincy and did a nice job getting rid of the football.
Great effort by the receiver to try and grab it. And Hasselbeck was trying to get them to the line very quickly so that they wouldn't have an opportunity to review it.
And Matt with 174 yards has gone over 3,000 yards for the season for the 8th time in his career. He'll throw on 2nd down, going deep, incomplete. Washington was the intended receiver. Nate Washington came in needing 4 receptions to become the first Tennessee receiver with 70 catches in a season since 2004.
Yeah, he's being guarded by Coleman. And you can see there, and Cook was trying to get over there as well. And there's a lot of bodies in that part of the field, and Hasselbeck throwing it up, trying to get one of his guys an opportunity to make the play. But all of a sudden, after that free first down that Jacksonville gave Tennessee, now it's 3rd and 10.
Hasselbeck. And that is caught by Jamie Harper, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Yeah, now you've got the gray area. I mean, you're looking at a 56-yard field goal, or you can punt it, but we're not short enough really with 4th and 4 to go for it in this moment, at this point.
Rob Barona, Steve, tried a 66-yarder in week 1 against Jacksonville.
And I think when you get to the point where you've seen a guy kick a kick that long and they don't, I think it's because at home you know the conditions of this field. I think it's more difficult to kick in that direction than in the other direction.
So we'll see Brett Kern. Jared Dillard is back deep and makes the fair catch at the 8-yard line. 8:28 left to go in the half. 17-7 Titans. We're back. Another fairly long field for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their average starting point has been their own 15-yard line. They start from their own 8 with 8:28 left to play in the half. Maurice Jones-Drew gets it on first down. Nice hole, and he's out across the 15, close to the 16-yard line, a pickup of 7. Let's take a look at what's at stake for the Tennessee Titans. They are still on the outside looking in after that loss last week against the Indianapolis Colts. The bottom line here, Steve, is that the Titans need to win today. If they win, none of that there on the right side really matters. Although they need one of those teams or some of those teams to start losing. Cross back to Maurice Jones-Drew, trying to get to the edge, turns the corner, And a nice pickup for Maurice Jones-Drew out across the 35-yard line to the 36. Jordan Babineau finally brought him down.
As we talk about what's happening around the league and those other scores, Denver is leading, Cincinnati is leading, and the Jets are leading in New York as well. Those are the three critical teams to Tennessee, and they impact them. If those three teams win, then they would all have to lose next week, and the Titans have to win out.
Juwan Harris is in the ball game now, along with the backfield. Play action, Gabbert in the seam, and that's brought by Mike Thomas, who's brought down hard by Jordan Babineau. And once again, let's check in New York with JB and Shannon for an update.
Baltimore smelling division title.
Yes, the only guy that should touch the ball as much as the quarterback for this Ravens is Ray Rice. 42-yard touchdown catch from Joe Flacco. 17-0, the Ravens.
Baltimore win, Pittsburgh lost. Baltimore will be the division champs. Back to Bill and Steve.
All right, guys, thank you. The Ravens regained first place in the AFC North with the Steelers' loss to the 49ers on Monday. Incomplete. Gabbert trying to hit Jarrett Dillard.
There's a penalty in the secondary, and I think that ball was actually tipped.
McCourty had the coverage, and the flag is down at about the 25-yard line.
And it depends on the penalty.
There's no foul.
Yeah.
For pass interference.
Because the ball was tipped.
Second down.
That ball was tipped, and you saw it flutter as it came out of Gabbert's hand. It did that after it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Watch as he lets this go. And you can see it. Morgan gets a finger on it, and once that happens, all bets are off in the secondary. There's no penalty for interference if the ball is tipped by a defender.
Morgan has come back and played well after having surgery on his ACL his rookie year. 2nd and 10 for Jacksonville. Short drop, the out route in and out of the hands of Dillard. And once again, let's check back in with JB and Shannon in New York for the latest on Miami and New England.
New England's nemesis is Miami.
The drive covered 82 yards. 66 of it came from Brandon Marshall, the final capper. 19 yards from Matt Moore. 10-0, and they're threatening to score again.
Let's take it back.
Guys, thank you. The Patriots have already wrapped up the AFC East and can clinch a first-round bye with a win today, but having trouble once again with the Miami Dolphins. Gabbert underneath. Maurice Jones-Drew still fighting, but the whistle had blown, and the ball will be spotted at the 45-yard line. And that was good for a pickup of 3.
And on the drop pass a moment ago, leaves him with a 3rd and long, and trying to give Maurice Jones-Drew an opportunity to break a tackle. The defender is right there. You see, is it Finnegan is right there to make the tackle. That defense for Tennessee, like every other defense, doing a great job because they've constantly got Jacksonville in 3rd and long.
So again, we'll see Nick Harris on 4th down, 4th and 7. Mariani makes the fair catch at the 5-yard line. 5:39 left to go in the half. Titans back to work when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of The Home Depot. And by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach.
An entertaining opening half between the Jaguars and the Titans. The Jags have finally turned the field around and back the Titans deep as they start from their own 5-yard line.
We talked to Matt Hasselbeck, and he told us that loss they took last week was horrible. I mean, he didn't have to sugarcoat it. It was hard to get over for them. It was a bad film to watch. Really struggled emotionally early in the week. It's a good thing they had a short week and helped them focus on this game.
Play action on 1st down. Hasselbeck from his own end zone. Center of the field, and that has been a money spot for the Tennessee Titans. Nate Washington with the catch, a pickup of 25 yards.
But once again, they got Paul Posluszny matched up against the wrong guy in coverage. Nate Washington coming across the field. Posluszny out in space, picks him up on the crossing route, and just gets outrun on a great throw. Let's face it, Posluszny's got him covered, and it was a perfect throw right by Posluszny's shoulder.
Washington 3 catches for 63 yards. From the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for Tennessee. Again, it's Cook. And he's close to the sticks for a first down.
Jacksonville trying to do a little bit more exotic rush schemes right now to get to Hasselbeck, but the ball comes out so quickly. Darrell Smith can't get there from the inside. You see they had a guy on Cook's face, but they switched and brought Smith in from the inside to cover Cook. Hasselbeck saw it and threw it to the outside.
Jared Cook having a monster day. 5 catches for 123 yards and a touchdown. Inside of 4.5 minutes left to go in the opening half. Damian Williams wrapped up near midfield by Morgan Trent. And let's take a look back at this great day by Jared Cook.
Well, it started early with a big deep throw down the middle, and that was a sign of things to come. Once again, another throw down the sideline, and then the touchdown right down between the hash marks. Really come on in the last couple of weeks, become a big target for Hasselbeck.
Hasselbeck from the shotgun on 2nd and 1. And that is caught by Williams. And that is going to be another Tennessee first down. Stopped by Morgan Trent.
Titans continuing to go with no huddle, although they're not hurrying very much. Hasselbeck just standing around, calling the plays as the team walks to the line of scrimmage. I always thought this was a good idea because while there's a certain amount of time on the play clock, he can talk with the coach and the coach can chime in on what he's doing from the sideline. Oh, that's really effective.
In Jacksonville territory, Hasselbeck with time, incomplete. He's trying to hit Nate Washington, who was well covered.
Yeah, it was a 6-man rush up front, man-to-man all over the field with only one safety. See, everybody's just locked in. That's the throw just to the outside, and that, I think, was because the pocket collapsed around Hasselbeck. And you see him tapping his own chest. He threw that just to the outside instead of down the inside edge of the numbers.
And Drew Coleman, the nickel, had him stride for stride.
Look at that.
Only 5 running plays so far, 24 passes for the Tennessee Titans. 2nd and 10. They lead it 17-7. Hasselbeck gets rid of it. Another catch by Cook and another Tennessee first down.
Well, it's a great throw by Hasselbeck. Once again, the pressure. This time a 4-man rush with a guy dropping out of the middle. He stutters, swims over the rusher and still gets the pass off. Cook on a deep crossing route for the tight end. Good route, great catch as it almost trickles away from his fingertips, kind of double catches it. Tennessee's hitting on all cylinders in their passing game right now.
That was good for 13 yards. 1st and 10 for the Titans. 2.5 minutes left to go in the half. Intercepted! Intercepted by Jacksonville. Jeremy Mincy was waiting and picks it off.
Well, he had his hand on the ground as a pass rusher and dropped into coverage right where Hasselbeck was going to throw the football. That's a great defensive call by Mel Tucker. Right here, he almost rushed and didn't. He dropped right back into the slant route, and Hasselbeck didn't see him as he stood up right as Hasselbeck released the football. Great defensive call by Jacksonville. Mincy dropping right back into the throwing lane that Hasselbeck had to take.
And Mincy continues this fine season that he's had at defensive end for Jacksonville. So the Jaguars take over. 2:24 left to play in the half from their own 36-yard line. Mojo tries to get to the corner. Jason McCourty, the cornerback, made the stop.
Great field position for Jacksonville as they get a chance to shorten the 10-point lead of the Titans.
Should take us down to the 2-minute warning. 17-7, Titans here in Nashville. Back in Nashville and coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 16. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. 2nd and 8 for Jacksonville. Gabbert from the shotgun. Maurice Jones-Drew trying to set up the screen, and that was going nowhere. He was wrapped up immediately by Colin McCarthy. And we had a chance to talk with Mojo yesterday, and he told us the guy he's going to be focused on today was the rookie middle linebacker, Colin McCarthy. He said, I cannot let number 52 tackle me, which he did right there. He said he wanted to come out and send a message and dominate him. You could tell by the look in his eyes that he was serious, but McCarthy with a nice play in the open field on Mojo right there.
Yeah, the reason he wanted to do that is because McCarthy, being a rookie, Jones-Drew knows he's going to see him twice a year for whatever career he has. He wants to make sure that guy knows he can dominate. He wants to make a statement. He tried to do the same thing earlier in the year to Akeem Ayers, the other rookie linebacker.
3rd and 12. And that is caught, but about a yard short of the first down by Mercedes Lewis.
And no movement from the sidelines of Jacksonville. Looks like they're contemplating maybe going for it on 4th and what will be just about a 1 yard. Now there's a timeout by Tennessee.
Mercedes Lewis, 10 touchdowns in a Pro Bowl season a year ago. He came into week 16 still looking for the end zone. And a pretty dramatic contrast to the play of Mercedes Lewis and how really ineffective he's been, and especially when compared to the play of Jared Cook. Jared Cook, 6 catches for 136 yards and a touchdown here in the first half as Mel Tucker has decided to go for it on 4th and 1.
And I agree. There's a minute 38 to go. You're down by 10 on the road. You're not going to the playoffs. This is the time when you give it to the leading rusher in the National Football League.
But they play action, and that is caught by Greg Jones, the fullback, and he has the first down into Tennessee territory.
Outstanding play action pass. Great, perfect time to call it and executed extremely well. Gabbert makes the hard play fake, and then Jones-Drew makes a nice block to give Gabbert time to throw it.
1st and 10. Gabbert is trying to hit Lewis, but the ball sails out of his reach.
That was a throw that's just a little too tall for the 6'7" tight end coming down the seam. We saw this with Cook in the first quarter. He was open, and Gabbert's got to put that on him.
Clock stops with 1:12 left to play in the half. 17-7 Tennessee. Jaguars looking for points before halftime. Gabbert gets rid of it. Brock Bolin was the intended receiver, incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down.
And that's another throw that you have to attribute to Gabbert. He was under pressure, couldn't get enough on it. He needed to buy himself a little extra time to get this throw off, and you see there, just threw it a little quickly.
Again, Derek Morgan with the pressure. He's had a tremendous first half.
Gabbert's got to get away from those kinds of rushes and extend plays and give himself a chance to make better throws.
1:08 left to play in the half. 3rd and 10 for the Jaguars. Gabbert steps up. Chest and West, and he has the catch. Ruled a reception at the 35-yard line.
And just after the catch, Mel Tucker takes a timeout to save time on the clock with 55 seconds left. Give them a chance to look at this catch again. He's going to come out and then break back out to the sideline. Hard to see.
Oh, that looked like it skipped off the ground. Another look at different angle, hard to tell there. Inside of 2 minutes, so they'll take a look at it upstairs.
Yeah, this is reviewable automatically upstairs, and his hand is underneath it. I think that is a catch. I think it's going to be a catch, and I don't think anybody else in the booth agrees with me.
Well, you've had a tremendous record so far this season.
I know. I'm trying to keep it perfect, actually. I know everybody thinks it's going to be overturned, so I'm going the opposite.
So Gene Steratore will...
I have no chance of being successful this season, so I'm going for it.
Steratore will go under the hood and take a look. 55 seconds left to play.
We are laughing about it.
First half.
We are laughing about it between two, because I have yet to get an appeal or a challenge right or review. I'm 0 for the season.
But you're eternally optimistic, and we like that.
Well, I'm Tim Tebow in my optimism, but I don't know. I don't think it ever hit the ground.
Justin West, who scored his first NFL touchdown on a 16-yard reception last week against Atlanta. One of those guys who went to Jacksonville after the start of the season. He was signed off Green Bay's practice squad on September 20th. Came in with 11 catches for 126 yards and a touchdown. Talked about
it was a third down play leading up to this, so if it's it'll still be Jacksonville's ball, but it'll be at the 49-yard line with 55 seconds left rather than the Tennessee 35-yard line. So I think this is a really crucial challenge or review.
Right, Mr. Steratore will have the verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a completed touch. Jacksonville did use their first timeout. They have 2 timeouts remaining. First and 10.
What a moment for our own Steve Tasker. You were all over it.
I am
well done.
1 for a million.
So a first down.
And I got to tell you, at live action, when I saw it live from our booth here, we got a great angle. I thought it skipped. And I think so did Mike Munchak.
First and 10. 55 seconds left from the 35-yard line of the Titans. Gabbert, quick release. Flaherty with the catch, and he's got another Jacksonville first down. Inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line.
Another quick timeout there as well.
That was good for 12 yards. Clock stops, 50 seconds remaining in the half. Don't forget, coming up, it's the Sprint halftime report. You guys in the studio will have all of the scores and highlights from this busy Week 16 around the National Football League. That's the Sprint halftime report coming up.
Mel Tucker, and really one of the most difficult positions a coach can be in as an interim head coach, taking over for a team that struggled so badly that they had to fire their head coach. Mel Tucker getting his first opportunity to be a head coach on an interim basis there in Jacksonville. That is an incredibly difficult situation, but he's doing a good job and his players are playing hard for him.
Trying to cut into the Titans' 10-point lead here near the end of the opening half. Incomplete. Flaherty couldn't bring it in. Jaguars are a team that has really struggled on the road this season. They've won only 1 of 7 games away from Jacksonville.
And this ball high and away from Flaherty. As you see there, Mel Tucker, this is at a point when you've really got to think about, I don't think it's throw the ball every time. I think Maurice Jones-Drew could still be a factor in the running game with 46 seconds left and a timeout.
This is the 10th play of the drive. Gabbert, incomplete. And that was on a rope.
Yeah, Dillard had a shot at it. It looked like he was going to make the acrobatic catch. Gets to the outside shoulder of Werner and just can't pull it in.
Jarrett Dillard battled injuries in his first 2 seasons. Healthy this year, came in with 23 catches for 223 yards and a touchdown. 3rd and 10 now for Jacksonville. 41 seconds left in the first half. Thomas, and he gets out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
And that's a mistake by Werner, the corner. He's got to keep him in bounds as he slung him outside the white. It does bring up 4th down, will force the field goal, but you really would rather have the clock running, except that, you know, now you're going to get the football back as an offense, but you're not going to have much time left. So you would have forced at least the Titans or the Jaguars to use their final timeout.
Josh Scobie has not made a field goal in 3 straight games, but 18 of 20 overall this season. 5 of those from 50 plus. This from 39 yards out. And good. So that narrows the Tennessee lead. 7-point ball game with 31 seconds left to play in the first half.
Kick is off. You called it. It was good, but
close.
But close.
We needed the Tasker eye.
There you go. Closes the gap. Good news. Let's talk about Mel Tucker's energy he brought to the meetings and to the team, picked up the pace of practice. With his change of a head coach, a lot of things changed, not just the head coach.
We enjoyed our visit with him yesterday. Look at some of the important scores in terms of the Tennessee Titans playoff hopes. The Jets are trailing. They need the Jets to lose at least once in these final 2 games. Denver losing to Buffalo 17-7. Kansas City and Oakland tied at 3. Steelers are up 10-0, and the Bengals up big on Arizona. An important game for the Arizona Cardinals. They're in a very similar position. They are still mathematically alive, but need some things to happen for them to get to the postseason. Mariani on the goal line. Mark Mariani brings it out to the 21-yard line. 25 seconds left to play in the half.
Let's see what the strategy is for Tennessee with a 7-point lead. I mean, there's always a possibility they may just kneel down and get to halftime here at home. But with Hasselbeck and the way that they've been having their way with the secondary at Jacksonville, might try something, but it looks like they're going to kneel down and call it a half and go in and make some adjustments.
So that will be it for the opening half. Let the clock run out. Titans were flat last week in the loss to the Colts. They talked with us about the importance of the short week and getting past it. Everyone knows they missed an opportunity to control their own destiny. Now still mathematically alive, but they need a lot of things to fall their way to be playing past week 17.
Well, the one play that made the difference in the first half was the turnover, and if they can get back to doing what they did, it'll be fine for the Titans.
So we'll be back with the Sprint Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the National Football League on CBS. And we're back in Nashville, ready to start the third quarter, 17-10. Tennessee here at halftime. Bill McAtee along with Steve Tasker. And what about that opening half? Tennessee came out and throwing the football.
Well, you knew against a depleted secondary, they were going to put it in the hands of their quarterback, their veteran quarterback who's earned their trust. And things were going swimmingly for the Titans until he threw that interception that led to the drive that ultimately cut the lead to 7 right before halftime.
All right, let's take a look now at our Droid Razor play presented by Motorola. Matt Hasselbeck to Jared Cook for the first Tennessee touchdown. Cook with a huge first half, over 130 yards on 6 catches.
And really, despite the interception, there's no reason for Tennessee to change their game plan. They really do need to attack a secondary for Jacksonville who is not only undermanned, but also forced, because of the inexperience of the players with this system, to play pretty simple coverages and recognizable coverages pre-snap. So Hasselbeck is going to know what he's going to do with the football before the snap, and he's shown that. And they did get him one time on the interception when they dropped the defensive lineman out, a little bit more of an exotic look that they hadn't shown up to that point, and they got Hasselbeck with the interception. But still, with a 7-point lead, no reason for the Titans to change their game plan.
Matt Hasselbeck, 17 of 25, 240 yards, touchdown and an interception in the first half. Jacksonville deferred to the second half, so they'll have the football to start the third period. DeJuan Harris tripped up as he crosses the 15-yard line out to the 18-yard line. And that is where the Jacksonville Jaguars will start, 1st and 10. Take a look, Steve, at the numbers from the first half.
There you have it. Tennessee, only 10 rushing yards. That's amazing. And they really have put this game right squarely in the hands of their quarterback, and they're going to have to trust him to do it. And Jacksonville coming up with the one turnover, but still, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get a lot of the same thing they got in the first half.
Maurice Jones-Drew, 10 carries, 52 yards in the first half. Gabbert will throw on first down, and that's caught by Dillard.
And you can anticipate this play coming out as Jacksonville had some success with it in the first half, and it also gives Gabbert a chance to get out of the pocket and look down the football field. It's a great route by Dillard, the hard stop coming way back to the football. You run that route about 5 yards deeper than you want to catch the ball at, and catch the ball running back towards the line of scrimmage, and it gives the quarterback a lot of trust that you're going to get separation.
That was good for 11 yards and a first down for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew battling inside to the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at what Jacksonville did in the first half and their possessions.
Yeah, this, after the turnover, they got the field goal, but too many punts in there. The 8-play, 82-yard touchdown drive was really a thing of beauty. Gabbert going 5 of 5 on that drive. And I think there you see Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator of Jacksonville, got to get his young quarterback to help that running game out.
203 total yards so far for Jacksonville. 2nd and 7 just underway in the second half. The screen to Maurice Jones-Drew, and that was a very nice individual play by Akeem Ayers, shedding the block and making the tackle.
Good rush off the right side. Witherspoon, but to me, Blaine Gabbert still needs to use his athleticism to extend plays. That was a screen pass. He knew the rush was going to come, but it seems to me he throws the football more out of desperation or fear of getting hit than he does drawing the rush towards him. And that's something he's got to do better.
Facing a 3rd and 7 here. Gabbert under pressure, and down he goes. Carl Klug with the sack, and he has been a force rushing the passer here in his rookie season. That is his 7th sack.
What a great find Klug has been out of Iowa. Watch as he comes right up the middle. Gabbert goes back, long drop, 7-step hitch, steps up to start to throw it, and steps right into Klug's face. And that was a great stunt by Klug, working down inside with Dave Ball. They get the sack.
Nick Harris on to punt it away to Mark Mariani. He retreats. He'll have a chance to return this, but then tripped up at the 33-yard line by Brock Bolin. Matt Hasselbeck came in 5th in the AFC in passing, but with only 1 touchdown pass in his last 5 games against 5 interceptions. 17 of 25 for 240 yards, a touchdown, and 1 pick today for the veteran Hasselbeck. 1st and 10 from the Tennessee 33-yard line. Out to Williams, tries to cut it back, and there's nothing there. Holman with the stop.
Yeah, once again, going right to the air to the Titans as they did in the first half. As you see their drives. Good production on most of them, only 2 punts. And then, of course, at the end, the bad interception.
So 2nd and call it a long 10 for Tennessee. And that also intended for Williams, incomplete. Batted away by Morgan Trent, who got a good break on the ball.
Yeah, you see the Titans come out here, and there's just a lack of emotion, and they went through almost the entire game last week against Indianapolis, and were really flat. And they acknowledged that to us. Matt Hasselbeck said we just came out and had no pop at all in our game, and once again they come out here in the second half to open this game with a 7-point lead, and they still seem a little bit emotionally elsewhere.
Facing a 3rd and long here. Hasselbeck pick up the blitz. Has time. Tried to hit Nate Washington, incomplete. And it's 3 and out for Tennessee.
Plenty of time for Hasselbeck, but well covered by the secondary of Jacksonville. That has happened all too infrequently for the Jaguars this afternoon. They've had a lot of trouble covering up all the receivers. You see the Titans sending 5 guys out and just not being able to get anybody separation.
Kern standing back at about the 20, ready to punt it away. Jared Dillard is back deep for Jacksonville. A good high punt. Fair catch called for and made at the 16-yard line. Wayne Gabbert will go back to work when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at jaguarusa.com.
We're back. The Jags came in today trying to get some kind of rhythm going on offense with Maurice Jones-Drew putting up tremendous numbers. They came in ranked 12th in rushing, but 32nd overall. They've scored 14 points or less in 10 of their 14 games this season. Trailing by 7 here. Mojo tripped up just short of the line of scrimmage. Tuesday, the Stars turn out to honor Meryl Streep, Neil Diamond, and more. It is a legendary evening at the Kennedy Center Honors. Tuesday, only CBS. So a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Titans lead it 17-10. 11 minutes left here in the third. Gabbert. That is caught by Jarrett Dillard. Dillard out across the 20-yard line to the 21.
Yeah, it's just a quick out. Gabbert goes back, 3-step drop and gets rid of it. You can see here Dillard just out, the ball's in the air before he sticks his foot in the ground. Werner does a nice job of breaking on that pass. You can tell this Titan defense is they just don't believe Jacksonville's going to send anybody deep. The defensive backs for Tennessee are just not retreating at all.
3rd and 5. Mojo. Well short of the first down. Another 3 and out for Jacksonville. Colin McCarthy, the rookie, the 4th rounder out of Miami, made the stop.
Yeah, and these first couple of possessions after halftime, you always get a look. After the teams go in at halftime, they talk about what they did well in the first half, what they didn't do well, and those first few possessions of the second half give you an idea of adjustments that they've made, and it looks like all the adjustments were on the defensive side of the football.
Harris punts it away. Mariani moves up, deals it at the 35-yard line. He's going to have some running room if he can get to the outside, but he doesn't. Tripped up and a nice open field tackle by Montel Owens. Hard to believe, despite the presence of Chris Johnson, Tennessee has run the football only 6 times today.
Yeah, one of those was by Matt Hasselbeck on a kneel down play. I mean, that's amazing. It's no question they really feel like they've got a matchup in the secondary of Jacksonville. They're letting Hasselbeck throw the football on almost every down.
54 passes in the ball game. As we're still relatively early in the third. They keep it on the ground that time. Chris Johnson out to the 40-yard line. Puslesny and Darrell Smith combined to make the stop. Let's take a look at Matt Hasselbeck's day.
Yeah, and this is the opening drive, the touchdown that gets to Cook, and then he gets it down the seam to Washington, and then the one false move he made was the quick pick to Mincy on the gotcha play by the defense.
Straight running plays. CJ out to the 43-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down.
How rare is that today by Tennessee? 2 run plays in a row. Now they're huddling up, and we saw in the first half that they did not huddle at all. They walked up to the line of scrimmage. Hasselbeck called formations, plays, everything out of the huddle. And now, in the second half, they decided to slow things down a little bit, make sure, get a little bit more communication, huddle up and get the play, and then come out.
3rd and 1. Jaguars showing blitz. Hasselbeck from the shotgun. They back out of it. Over the middle. That's caught by Stevens for a first down into Jacksonville territory.
Yeah, Stevens was being guarded by Ubodi, and Hasselbeck just fits the pass in. As you see there, steps in, and watch, Ubodi goes for the interception, doesn't get it, and it's a good thing Owusu Ansah makes the tackle, or that's touchdown.
Owusu Ansah, a free agent signed a month ago, saw substantial playing time last week against Atlanta after Dwight Lowry left the game with a shoulder injury. He started at free safety today. Hasselbeck on the slant. That's caught at the 34-yard line. Lavelle Hawkins. And let's check in with JB for the latest from New York.
As Steve Tasker knows, this is an unforgiving game.
And this is why, JB, running backs can never be overpaid. Dijon Gomes of the Washington Redskins hit Adrian Peterson low on his left knee. He was helped to his feet, carted to the locker room, being examined. We do not expect his return. Christian Ponder sustained a concussion. We do not expect his return.
Back to Bill and Steve.
Wow, thank you guys.
That's a Gale Sayers type injury.
Chris Johnson. I do not want to see that very often. It's a tough replay to watch.
He's truly one of the great running backs in the game today. Running backs of his generation, really.
A couple of good ones here in Tennessee, and Chris Johnson and Maurice Jones-Drew.
Talk to both of these guys, Johnson and Jones-Drew. They really wind up to play each other. I mean, they want to outshine each other. Both of them really great backs, but take great pride in their ability to outshine each other.
They hang together a little bit in the offseason. They say it's kind of special when they get to go against each other. Hasselbeck up the sideline. Some hand fighting all the way. It was intended for Damian Williams, and there is no flag.
No, David Jones knocked it away, and watch, this is just underthrown. As Williams gets it, you can see he's open. Then, just because it's about 3 feet short, Jones gets his hand on it and knocks it away. Hasselbeck knows he had one there. No question about it.
So that'll bring up 4th and 4, and we will see Rob Baronis on to try a field goal of 51 yards. On its way, and just inside the uprights. Good. And once again, it is a 10-point Titans lead here in the 3rd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Give the gift of our fastest smartphones on America's largest 4G network. And by National Car Rental. Go National. Go like a pro.
A couple of 51-yard field goals from Rob Baronis, and it is a 20-10 Titans lead. 6:16 left to go in the 3rd. Titans in a must-win situation to keep their playoff hopes alive, but they need an awful lot of help. DeJuan Harris back deep. 2 yards deep in the end zone. And brought down short of the 20. Well, only one network brings you America's top comedies. How I Met Your Mother, 2.5 Men, The Big Bang Theory, Two Broke Girls, and Mike and Molly. Only CBS. Gabbard set to go back to work. 16 of 24 for 145 yards today. No touchdowns, no interceptions. And he didn't play against Tennessee when these two teams met on opening weekend. Power I formation for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mojo, right side, lowers his shoulder, fights his way out to about the 23-yard line. Michael Griffin, Steve, made the tackle.
Excuse me, you talk about the two guys in this game that can really run the football, Maurice Jones-Drew and Chris Johnson. And the two of them make up half of the best four guys in the league the last couple of years, Ray Rice and Steven Jackson being the others. That's elite company. Both these guys go against each other twice a year, and they have had some epic battles in this matchup.
Second and 7 for Jacksonville. The delay, Maurice Jones-Drew. And he's out close to the first down marker, maybe about a yard short, a pickup of 6. And now a new career high for Maurice Jones-Drew, 1,394 yards.
I'll tell you what, 308 carries is a lot of work in an NFL season. I know it's a long season, and there you see Chris Johnson never really recovered this season, I don't think, from the holdout and the lack of an off season and the things that happened. Got off to a very slow start this season, but has managed to get it together and get close to 1,000 yards once again.
So that moved the sticks. First and 10 for Jacksonville. Short drop, pump fake from Gabbert. Goes the other way to Stevens, and that's a drop. It would have been a Jacksonville first down. Zach Potter. Potter in his second year out of Nebraska.
Yeah, and this is one where you really need to help your quarterback out. This, you said, it is just a flat drop. When he started, he knew he was going to have an opportunity maybe to break a tackle and get a little bit bigger play, and just forgot about job one, and that's catching the football.
So after the incomplete pass, second and 10 for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew alone in the backfield. Gets the toss left side. And there was just nowhere to run, and he was brought down hard. So Derek Marks made the stop.
Well, this play was strung up extremely well by the defensive front of Tennessee. You're watching, you can see what he sees right there. Witherspoon sneaks through, and then, of course, Akeem Ayers. I mean, Marks, that's hard, brutal running right there. Tennessee all over the run game.
Third and 10. Jaguars trail by 10 here with 4 minutes left to go in the third. Gabbert gets rid of it. Maurice Jones-Drew, he's got a first down. Mojo out across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
And that was a play by Gabbert where he bought himself some time and then flipped it to Maurice Jones-Drew as a check down. Watch, Drew's going to get a little chip block, then slides out. Gabbert runs forward, then zings the ball to Drew. Jones-Drew, who does a nice job catching the hot throw from Gabbert.
Maurice Jones-Drew, who is currently tied with Fred Taylor with 62 career touchdowns, one away from setting the franchise record. Meanwhile, DeJuan Harris is in the ball game as Jacksonville throws on first down, incomplete. Jared Dillard was the intended receiver.
And it looked again like Gabbert hurried his throw out to Dillard. As the the clock in Gabbert's head ticks down to the point where he thinks he's going to get hit, he seems to hurry his throws quite often. Now, no question, this drive he's had one dropped and has made a play with his legs, but all too often he seems to get a little bit panicky with the ball in the pocket and make a throw that's ill-advised.
DeJuan Harris stays in the game on second down. They run the slant. Thomas was the intended receiver. Incomplete. It'll bring up third and long.
Mike Thomas runs a quick slant. And it looked as though he wasn't ready for the football. He was kind of looking for a flag on this as well as he's working against McCourty. McCourty gives him a little tug. Yeah, the ball's out in front of him. There was no penalty on that play. You're not going to get that call ever.
So they have to get it to the 47-yard line of the Titans for a first down. Third and 10, and here they come on the blitz. Gabbert trying to get away and finally has to throw it out of bounds. Pressure coming from Colin McCarthy, the rookie middle linebacker. He has stepped in and played well for Barrett Ruud, who is on IR.
Yeah, and in this case, you'd like to see, and no question, he's got to hustle out of there because he's getting chased by Dave Ball. And then, of course, gets tackled by McCarthy. Does a nice job, and it's a smart play to get rid of it. No question, it's the right play, but in that situation, you've got to try something, give the guy a chance to catch the football.
7th punt of the game for Nick Harris. Mariani standing back at his own 10-yard line. Here he goes. And a nice return by Mark Mariani to the 23-yard line, and that is where Matt Hasselbeck and the Titans will start 1st and 10. Tennessee takes over from their own 24-yard line. The Jaguars defense trying to keep it close. It is remarkable that even with all the injuries, Jacksonville still came in this week ranked 5th overall in the NFL on defense. A big jump from 26th a year ago. Nothing there for Chris Johnson. Came in averaging a career low of 4 yards a carry this season. Has rushed for 4 touchdowns this year after totaling 11 last year. But he does have 4 100-yard games, 3 of those coming over the last 6 weeks.
He has managed to get it in gear late here in the season, but the inconsistency has really plagued him. And of course, he comes in today with a little bit of a bum ankle.
Exposure to 190 against Tampa Bay at the end of last month, 153 the following week against Buffalo. Hasselbeck, that is caught. Jared Cook with another reception. Cook with that huge opening half. That's his 7th catch of the day.
Darrell Smith picking him up in man-to-man coverage, doing a nice job getting his eyes as the defender, getting his eyes into the backfield, staying with Cook. Not giving up the big play. The reception's one thing, but don't let the guy break the tackle and get away. And it sounds simple, but the best defenses are the ones that tackle well because they don't give up plays after contact and they don't let guys break tackles for long gains.
3rd and 4.
185. 185, go.
Titans trying to keep this drive going. And incomplete. That was just ugly.
I don't know who he was throwing that football to. Yeah, there's the flag. Gene Steratore throws the flag after the play. Hasselbeck hit his offensive lineman right in the back. Looked like he was throwing it to Eugene Amano, the center. And I think this is a good penalty call. There's no question Hasselbeck was getting rid of it. The question is, did he do it in a legal manner? I don't think he did. There was no wide receiver or running back in the pocket with him. They'd all released. And he threw that right into Eugene Amano's numbers.
Trying to sort things out. Another meeting chaired by Gene Steratore, our referee today.
There is no foul for intentional grounding, as number 8 was trying to throw the ball to number 28. It hits a lineman inadvertently, therefore it is just an incomplete forward pass, and it will be 4th down.
There you go, nice complete explanation.
The fact that it didn't fly too far doesn't make much difference. Here's Chris Johnson. He's going to be the one that they say Hasselbeck was trying to throw it to, and yeah, you can see that. I can see that. And obviously, there's Amano who gets the ball in the middle of his numbers, and that's a good no call in replay.
Jags could come away from this with good field position. And over and punt. Dillard trying to get it to the outside. And tripped up just as he tried to turn the corner. Ahmad Hall, they find open field tackle, a 44-yard punt and 5-yard return. Take a look at some of the scores that would impact the Tennessee playoff hopes. Giants are up on the Jets. Buffalo 23-14 on Denver. Oakland 10-6. Pittsburgh 13-0. And Cincinnati with things well in hand against Arizona.
And that Cincinnati game is the one that Tennessee has to watch for, because if Cincinnati goes on to win that game, Tennessee has to hope that they can win their game this week and next week, and Cincinnati must lose next week to Baltimore.
Maurice Jones-Drew to the outside, and he has a first down, pushed out of bounds by Cortland Finnegan. You look at the playoff situation for Tennessee, and last week's loss just really hurt. It took things out of their hands, and now the Titans have to continue to win today and next week at Houston, then hope that both Cincinnati and the Jets each lose at least once here in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. That's not going to happen to Cincinnati today against Arizona. They have to have some other things fall their way as well, so it is a tall mountain to climb for the Titans, but the bottom line is that they have to win today or it's over. Maurice Jones-Drew once again spun down at the 45-yard line.
Once again, Maurice Jones-Drew running against an 8-man front for the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are just really refusing adamantly to retreat into pass coverage. They do not believe Blaine Gabbert and the wide receiving core of the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to go deep. And the Jaguars have tried it a couple of times today, but not nearly enough to convince the Titans that they're threatened.
2nd and 7 for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew right up the gut, and he'll be stopped just short of midfield. So that's the end of the third quarter. Titans lead at 20-10, and we'll return to Nashville after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. It's a 10-point Tennessee lead as we start the final quarter. 20-10 Titans. Tennessee has stayed disciplined in this elimination game. No penalties through the first 3 quarters. Third down for Jacksonville from their own 49-yard line. Gabbert. Incomplete. Behind Chaston West, who couldn't make the catch. So Jacksonville will have to punt.
He tries for the back shoulder throw, does Gabbert, and he puts it right in there. Odd McCourty got his hand right on the football. Well defended by McCourty, saved the first down, forces the punt.
That wasn't a bad throw by Gabbert.
It's not a bad throw. It was thrown very early, right on the money, and it was just a great play by the defender.
Mariani waiting to punt, lets it go, and it bounds into the end zone for a touchback. A 51-yard punt. Well, New Year's Day, the NFL playoff puzzle falls into place with an NFL on CBS doubleheader. You'll see compelling matchups from this lineup. All games and times are subject to change. It all begins with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. The NFL on CBS next weekend. Final weekend of the regular season. 1st and 10 for Tennessee, protecting a 10-point lead. Hasselbeck will throw, and he's going deep for Damian Williams. Got it. A nice catch by Damian Williams.
And the defender stayed down, and you'll watch as Williams, and it's Ashton Ubodi on the coverage, and they're going to end up being tied up for this football as Williams comes down with it. Tremendous job, and I don't know what the injury could be to Ubodi, although they land together. It's a well-thrown ball by Hasselbeck, a rainbow, which is just, it's just a request by the quarterback for his receiver to go out and get it, and Williams did a great job.
A 48-yard reception.
Could be a shoulder. I don't even want to wonder what it could be, but you can tell there Ubodi stayed down. Could have been just the wind getting knocked out of him.
Ashton Ubodi was released by the Bucs in the preseason and signed by Jacksonville and made his first interception in a Jaguars uniform against Tampa Bay. But he has been one of those guys who has really stepped in
Yeah,
Jacksonville has had all those injuries.
8 guys from the secondary at different times of the year gone on IR.
Jaguars, Steve, have 16 players who weren't even on the roster the last time these two teams met on opening weekend.
72 different players have played for Jacksonville this season. 72, and you're only allowed to suit up 45 on game. Man, you talk about one more than contributing factor to a team's struggles. That is it. I mean, you talk about what happened in Jacksonville. It starts with the injuries.
Zabodi goes to the sideline. 1st and 10 for Tennessee from the Jacksonville 32. Hasselbeck to throw again under pressure. He steps up. Now he's going to take off to the 25-yard line.
Chris Johnson stayed down on the field. Something happened.
And he's down at about the 35.
He was away from the play as he was trying to help in pass protection. What looked like perhaps a chip block where he's trying to help his left tackle.
He was limited in practice this week with an injury to his right ankle. The injury was initially thought to be severe, but there were tests run, and those tests had a negative result. It was just very sore, but now obviously has some issues here.
Well, let's try and see here. Right here, he might have gotten hit by Daryl Smith, who... Oh, he did, and Daryl Smith hit him. Didn't look like he hit him hard. Right here. Well, there you go. Daryl Smith, thinking that Chris Johnson was going to get the pass, went ahead and laid a lick on him, although he didn't really turn it loose. Chris Johnson completely unaware of his presence, and that's what led to the injury, I think, was the fact that he had no idea it was going to happen.
So Jamie Harper has checked in, and Harper gets it on 2nd down, bounces it to the outside, turns the corner, and that's a nice run. Rookie, 4th-round pick out of Clemson, 5'11", 233 pounds. The Titans feel like he can be their big power back in this Tennessee offense, hoping he can bring some of the qualities they had when Lindell White was here.
Exactly, and there's nothing like having one of the best running backs in the league unless you got another one. And no question, Harper making a nice complimentary run to Chris Johnson. You got Chris Johnson who can outrun everybody maybe in the stadium. Chris Harper, a guy who can run over most of the guys on the field.
Jamie Harper stays in the game, gets it. Down to the 16-yard line. Owusu Asa made the tackle. Starting today at free safety.
You know,
Chris Johnson is back in the game.
Yeah, you talk about Owusu Ansah. He was on Dallas's practice squad this season as a wide receiver. Couldn't get on the field, but the reason they liked him so much in Dallas was because of his speed. So he does bring a lot of athletic ability to the back end for Jacksonville, but if you're playing wide receiver early in the season, you can bet you're really not in tune to the defensive calls of another team.
2nd down, Hasselbeck to the end zone. Damian Williams, and he was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Yeah, his second foot, his right foot came down out of bounds. Right there, he gets one, and no question about it. Coleman just couldn't get back to the corner route, but does enough to force the out-of-bounds catch.
Damian Williams with 5 touchdown receptions this season. So 3rd and 10 for Tennessee. With a 10-point lead, Hasselbeck again to the end zone. Chris Johnson incomplete. Tried to extend for it, but couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, Jacksonville brought a lot of pressure up inside. Hasselbeck made a huge pump fake and then came out really late, and you see got matched up Russell Allen trying to cover Chris Johnson man-to-man. That's a good matchup for Tennessee.
If you're Jacksonville, that is not what you want.
You see there, not only did Nate Washington thought he was going to catch it, Chris Johnson thought he was going to catch it.
So again, we'll see Rob Baronis, who's got 2 51-yard field goals today, this from 35 yards out. And good. Baronis has not missed from inside of 40 yards this season. Very accurate, 23-10. Three field goals today from Rob Baronis as the Titans extend their lead to 23-10. 12 and a half minutes left to play.
Well, you see Chris Palmer talking it over with the receivers. Running backs, Hasselbeck in there as well, talking over something pretty specific for their next possession.
Jaguars could use a big play from DeJuan Harris here on the return. From the 4. Wrapped up and driven out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Tomorrow on 60 Minutes, a journey to some of the most important sites in all of Christianity on a special Christmas edition of 60 Minutes. Tomorrow, only CBS. So the rookie, Blaine Gabbert, the 10th pick overall, out of Missouri, back to work. Again, he didn't play when these two teams met on opening weekend. He's been the Jag starter since week 3 in the game against Carolina. Maurice Jones-Drew, big hole up the middle. Mojo with the first down out to the 36-yard line. Once again, let's check in with JB and Shannon in New York for an update.
Shannon, you think this is what being hit by a truck is like?
Watch Ahmad Bradshaw finish this run off. Boom! Boom! Rodney Poole left the game, caught Ahmad Bradshaw hitting.
Bill and Steve.
Oh, man.
Well, if the Giants lose and Dallas wins later today against Philadelphia, the Cowboys can wrap up the NFC East, but the Giants playing well. Inside of 12 minutes remaining here. 2nd and 8. Gabbert incomplete. That was at the feet of Mike Thomas. Thomas inactive last week against Atlanta with a concussion. Came in as Jacksonville's leading receiver, 40 catches for 391 yards.
At this point, it's going to be crucial for Blaine Gabbert to take this game over as a quarterback. I know he's young and he hasn't had that much success, but this is a point when he can learn a lot of good football. As you see the Jacksonville Jaguars jump off sides. Eugene Monroe, the left tackle.
Jacksonville 3 of 13 on third down.
Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, third down.
It is indeed on Eugene Monroe, but you talk to veteran quarterbacks in the NFL and they'll tell you when they were young players playing in the league, they learned an awful lot of really good football lessons in the last part of some really bad football games. And the question is, how much can Blaine Gabbert learn in the last part of this season that will help him next year?
3rd and 13. Batted down. He was trying to hit Maurice Jones-Drew. Dave Ball got a hand on it, so that's 6 straight incomplete passes.
Once again, I think Gabbert, and while Dave Ball is standing there, you got to make sure you get it over him. And he just doesn't take enough time, is not patient enough just to make sure that that guy is not going to be able to make a play on a little 8-foot pass.
Dave Ball, who played with Maurice Jones-Drew at UCLA. Mariani back at the 22-yard line, awaiting the punt. Feels it at the 19. Oh, and that was a big-time hit. Brought down immediately by Colin McCloherty.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Droid Razor by Motorola. Droid strong, razor sharp. New York Life Insurance Company. And by the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event, where you can drive away in any new 2012 VW for practically just your signature.
5 punts for Jacksonville, and after the nice special teams play by Colin Cloherty, Tennessee takes over 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. 11.5 minutes left to play. Chris Johnson, quiet today. Brought down after a pickup of 4.
Well, you see now, we saw a few moments ago Chris Palmer talking to the offensive backs and receivers of the Titans in a huddle after that last series. Now they come out with Hasselbeck under center with 2 backs in the backfield, 2 wide receivers in the tight end, a very basic formation and personnel package, and then hand it off. You wonder if they've changed philosophy and started to churn the clock down instead of throwing the football like they have the first 3 quarters.
Chris Johnson came in 70 yards away from his 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season. Hasselbeck. And that is going to be ruled incomplete. Nate Washington was the intended receiver.
You know, it's interesting when you watch these 2 quarterbacks, Matt Hasselbeck and Blaine Gabbert. Hasselbeck will make these throws. He almost always ends up on the ground. He waits till the last possible minute, accepts the hit, and tries to make the throw at the right time. Gabbert, on the other hand, seems to throw the football so he won't get hit. He never ends up on the ground after the throw. Hasselbeck is always picking himself up.
3rd and 6. 23-10 Tennessee. Hasselbeck. And let's see if this is an interception.
I believe it is.
Jaguars have it. Morgan Trent. And he's pushed out of bounds.
Ball was tipped in the secondary right to Morgan Trent.
It bounced around and Trent finally came up with it.
Yeah, I think it was a pass intended for Nate Washington. And he goes off his hands and looks like Coleman's hands as well, and then ends up in the hands of Trent. Right there you see it, no question about it. Trent stays down for a long time, and he never gets touched. Never gets touched while he is, so that's a good return, and this play will stand.
So the Jaguars are right back in it. 10.5 minutes left to play, and they have it 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 18-yard line. Offset eye. Maurice Jones-Drew is the deep back. Potter was the motion man. Gabbert looking to make a play. Checks it down to Mojo. And he is brought down short of the 10. That was good for 7 yards.
That's one more way to get the ball into Jones-Drew's hands. You see Chris Palmer talking to Hasselbeck. I think Hasselbeck threw it to the right guy, just made a little bit of throw, moves more inside. He expected Nate Washington to be inside further, and it ended up in the tipped interception.
2nd and 3. Close back to Maurice Jones-Drew. Fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
Will Witherspoon and Cortland Finnegan combined to make the stop, no gain.
Well, the pursuit is going to catch up. You see Witherspoon and McCarthy just run to the football. Finnegan is out there as well, shedding the block from Dillard. I mean, this Tennessee defense ran to the football so well on that play. It looked as though when Gabbert gave the ball to Jones-Drew that Jones-Drew was going to get it easily. But the speed of Tennessee caught up to the play and kept it from happening.
Maurice Jones-Drew from the Wildcat. Direct snap to Mojo. Lowers his shoulder, and he's near the sticks. It will all depend on the placement. Akeem Ayers made the tackle.
He's going to be shy of the 1st down. He had to get all the way just to the 8-yard line, and they're going to mark him just inside the 10. But you see there, no quarterback, just Jones-Drew in the backfield. That gives them one extra person to block without a quarterback to hand it off and watch.
Akeem Ayers made a very nice play. And Jacksonville will go for it on 4th and 1. Play action. Gabbert. Picked off. And the Tennessee defense denies the Jacksonville Jaguars. Michael Griffin comes away with the interception. After the Michael Griffin interception. The score remains 23-10, Tennessee. 8:21 left to play. The Titans take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Chris Johnson now to take some time off the clock. Picks up a yard. Let's take another look at the pick.
Well, I really didn't like the play that they called, and I certainly didn't like the decision Gabbert makes to throw this. It's into a bunch of traffic, a bunch of blue jerseys, and I certainly didn't like the throw. So I didn't like the play call was bad. I mean, you got Maurice Jones-Drew standing here watching. He's down here. He's not doing anything in this play. He's the best player in the NFL. He's useless on this play. And you're asking a quarterback who's struggled all season to make a throw into 6 coverage guys. And it's just a terrible play on the part of Jacksonville.
Johnson cuts it back out across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
And that's the one thing you couldn't let happen there. You got to get back in this game somehow, some way. You got to come away with at least a field goal attempt in that situation. If you don't get the first down, they just couldn't do it.
Again,
and they do the worst thing, they turn it over.
Puzzling because you've got the leading rusher in the National Football League and you don't give him a chance on 4th and 1.
Well, they gave him a chance in the Wildcat on the play before, I get that. But my money's on Jones-Drew.
3rd and 3. Now it's the Jacksonville defense has to make a stop. And that's caught by Washington. And he has a Tennessee first down out to the 35.
David Jones, the cornerback, looked like he came up lame, but he's all right. He's not limping. He was in coverage right there. Great job by Washington. Washington comes out, sticks his foot in the ground, and boom, stops. Ball's already in the air when he turns around. You talk about how many times the ball has been in the air for the Titans. Hasselbeck's thrown it 39 times to that point. That's his 40th attempt.
That was good for 8 yards and a first down from the 35-yard line. They go back to the ground. Chris Johnson wrapped up at the 38-yard line by DeJuan Landry.
And you get to this point now as you see Chris Johnson come out, Harper go into the game. But he's still a back, despite his struggles this season, the fact he's not having the type of season he's used to having. He's still a guy that if you miss a tackle, you're going to give up a touchdown no matter where you are on the football field. And that's why he's such a crucial part of this offense, even when he's not being productive.
12 carries, 37 yards for Johnson. Harper, ball is loose, and Jacksonville apparently has come away with the football. And they have.
Well, Tennessee, after having this game well in hand, has had 2 quick turnovers. They've dodged the bullet on one and got the interception back from Gabbert. Now they give it right back after the fumble from Harper after he got really hit hard by Landry.
DeJuan Landry, after a scramble for the ball, finally came up with it. And it was knocked out by C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley coming from the inside as a nice tackle.
So another chance for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 23-10. Just over 5.5 minutes left to play. Gabbert. That's caught by Greg Jones, the big fullback. Upended at the 32, close to the 31-yard line by Jason McCourty.
The clock continues to run with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Jaguars with no sense of urgency.
Maurice Jones-Drew checks back in. 2nd and 7. Jaguars with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Play action, they try to run the slant. That's incomplete. Chaston West was the intended receiver.
Gabbert trying to fit that football in there, and there's just no room. Both defenders, and once again we see the lack of believability that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to go deep. The defensive backs of Tennessee refuse to retreat. They're sitting on every route.
Jacksonville just 3 of 15 on 3rd down, but they get one there on the strike to Mike Thomas. just under 5 minutes remaining. The clock continues to run.
Now they finally go no huddle, which is the right move. They've got to get more plays in and keep getting first downs.
Gabbert steps in, fires incomplete. A lot of zip on the ball, but over the head of Mike Thomas.
And Mike Thomas has got to come down with that. Gabbert hasn't been perfect today, but when he's needed some help from his receivers, they have not come through for him on their spot either. You saw a drop from one of the tight ends, Potter, earlier. Mike Thomas doesn't pull that in. When you've got a young quarterback and he makes throws like that, those are the ones you've got to make.
Well, you can make the case that Jacksonville really doesn't have a genuine number one receiver. On second down, incomplete as they try to set up the screen to Maurice Jones-Drew.
And once again, Gabbert throws that football way early on a screen route, and he just moves too fast for the development of the play. You see, there's no question. Ayers comes around, but Gabbert just throws this in an effort to avoid getting hit.
So 3rd and 10. Jacksonville trying to capitalize on the turnover. Stay in the ball game. Incomplete. Jones-Drew once again was the intended receiver. It'll be 4th down.
Well, now they've got him split wide to the sidelines, trying to get him the football that way. As he comes in, Ayers is coming out. I mean, Jones-Drew knows he's double teamed. He turns around. I think he was surprised that football was on its way.
13-point ball game, so 4 down territory with 4:31 left to play. Fourth and 10 for the Jaguars. Gabbert scrambling, buying extra time, and that is caught inside the 5 by Dillard.
Well, this was a nice play by Gabbert. He bought himself some time, moves out to his right as he steps up into the pocket, and then he moves out to the right, keeps his eyes down the football field, and then he throws an absolute strike to the sidelines.
21 yards on 4th and 10, so now 1st and goal for Jacksonville from the 3. Gabbert will go from the shotgun. With time. Finally throws it over the head of Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah, that's the matchup Jacksonville wants down there. Mercedes Lewis, the big, tall tight end, Pro Bowl tight end a year ago. Obviously, with the struggles of the offense, has not had that kind of year this year, but that's the matchup and the exact guy you want to try and throw it to. Maybe a little bit of a forced throw on Gabbert's part, but at this point, he's the weapon you want to use in the red zone.
No running plays on this drive. 4:18 left to play. 23-10 Tennessee. Maurice Jones-Drew. His next touchdown, by the way, will set the Jacksonville franchise record. And that is going to be spotted just short of the goal line.
As the clock continues to run, Jacksonville bringing on the heavy package, taking all 3 wide receivers off the field, and this is the point now. You've got to give it to Maurice Jones-Drew on this play. You're inside the 1 yard line. They've shown the propensity to maybe outthink themselves a couple of times, try and throw it or do play action. Now as Tennessee's going to take a quick timeout.
So timeout on the field, 3:44 left to play. The Jaguars are threatening.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And by Subway Restaurants. Get your own Subway steak melt today.
4 down territory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 more chances to punch it into the end zone. Power I formation, the jumbo package. They give it to the fullback Jones, and he's got a touchdown. Greg Jones, the first man through.
taking advantage of another turnover, which has really become the story here in the fourth quarter. 2 turnovers by Tennessee. Look at the blocking up front. Mercedes Lewis going down hard on Dave Ball to keep him from getting inside to make that tackle. Great job on the backside by the tight end, allowing Jones to get in.
That was the 14th play that Jacksonville had run inside the Titans' 35-yard line in the last 7 minutes, and they come away with 6 points. Jones, a big, powerful fullback. And obviously every scoring play starting this year subject to review.
That's Steratore says they're going to review this play to make sure. Yeah, I don't think his left knee went down before he lunged forward right here. I don't think his knee touches. See, it misses. It misses right there. His knee didn't touch and the ball got in. So I can understand why they wanted to review it, but from that angle, to me, his knee never touches right there. It looks like it's very close, but I think it stayed off the ground.
Greg Jones in his 8th year out of Florida State. He's a guy who can really do it all. Maurice Jones-Drew's eyes light up when he talks about Greg Jones and how powerful he is. He can also catch the football, and as we just saw there, he can get some of the tough yards inside.
Well, as you see this Jacksonville team winding down this season, so many question marks remain for that franchise. New ownership coming into the picture, a new head coach as they conduct interviews even
After review,
as the season
the
goes
ruling on
on.
the field is confirmed. The knee does not touch the ground before the ball crosses the goal line. It is a touchdown, Jacksonville.
Steve, you're red hot, 2 for 2.
I can take that. I'll take it.
Scobie on to make it a 6-point game. Still plenty of time, 3:41 left to play. And Scobie boots it through, 23-17. 3:41 left, and coming up on the Subway post-game show, join the guys in New York, JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from this busy Week 16. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Some of the other scores that are happening around as we've been keeping up with them this afternoon.
And obviously the most important thing for the Tennessee Titans is to win. They have to win out to have any chance at all, but they have to have a lot of other things happen for them to get the final wild card spot in the postseason.
If they can hang on here and win this game, the Tennessee Titans will be able to play with a meaningful game next week in Houston.
Of course, Jacksonville with their new owner, Shad Khan, who has promised to keep the franchise in Jacksonville. He held a team meeting with the players and at one point asked them for their thoughts on what it'll take to turn things around and start winning again. And Mel Tucker told us the room got really quiet. No one wanted to speak. Mr. Khan started actually calling on guys individually, which sort of forced them to open up and start talking. It turned into a very productive session between the team and their new owner. They're still not out of this one. Mariani from 2 yards deep in the end zone brings it out across the 15 to the 17-yard line, and that's where Tennessee will take over 1st and 10.
Well, I think with the advent of the last touchdown by the Jaguars, the Titans now cannot really go into their 4-minute offense. I mean, they can, but they're going to have to run some time on this clock, off the clock. Jacksonville with all 3 timeouts left, so it's going to be really difficult for Tennessee to go conservative here and have this drive turn out the way they want it to.
Chris Johnson back in the game. Harper, the rookie, fumbled to allow Jacksonville to score. Chris Johnson now just across the 20-yard line.
Jacksonville takes a quick timeout as we look at some of the scores around that matter. Arizona making a game of it.
And the Jets obviously in trouble against the Giants. That also bodes well for Tennessee and their playoff hopes. Buffalo with a big advantage now over Denver, 40-14, with 3.5 minutes left to go there. And Oakland and Kansas City, that's an important game for both those teams, tied at 13.
Jets and Cincinnati are the critical teams at this point for Tennessee, because Tennessee has to gain a game on those two teams within the next 2 weeks. So Tennessee needs to win and have those teams lose, and they can move up into a stronger position as the playoffs wind up.
Jacksonville, 2 timeouts remaining. No running room inside. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
And they take another timeout on the Jacksonville sideline.
Ahmad Hall, the fullback, with the carry, the former U.S. Marine who was originally an undrafted rookie out of the University of Texas.
Here's the playoff pictures, which the way it stands at the moment updated. Baltimore won today, and Pittsburgh has won. Both those teams at 11-4, but Baltimore swept Pittsburgh in the regular season, so they get the higher seed, and they both clinch a playoff spot today.
Ravens having swept the series with the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. Tennessee still hoping for an opportunity.
So all those teams still in the hunt. There's only one spot left, except for the AFC West division leader.
Big play here on 3rd and 5 for Tennessee. From their own 22-yard line. Hasselbeck slings it. Jared Cook all alone. And he's out to midfield, and he has been a killer today for the Tennessee Titans. C.C. Brown made the stop after a pickup of 29 yards.
And Hasselbeck makes a great throw, patient in the pocket. Cook comes out and really gets huge separation from Owusu Ansah, because I think it might have been a push, but he stayed in bounds as well. Smart play. As you see there, Hasselbeck once again delivers the ball and takes a shot as Cook rumbles down the field.
Owusu Ansah fell down on the play, slipped on the turf, and that's why Cook was so wide open. Back to the ground for Tennessee. Chris Johnson picking his way down to the 46-yard line.
Jacksonville takes its final timeout.
It'll be a short one, 30-second timeout.
And then the next play, the second down play, will be take them to the 2-minute warning, and that'll give them as another timeout. So then that'll give them one chance. They've got to stop them on this series of downs without getting a first down, or it's going to be over.
Jared Cook, 8 catches for 169 yards. Made the catch every time he was targeted today. Career numbers from Jared Cook on 2nd down. Chris Johnson to the outside with some running room. And finally falls down to keep from going out of bounds, and the clock continues to run.
And that may just do it, as this will wind down to the 2-minute warning with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. It'll happen at the 2-minute warning. They'll have a first down. And from this moment on, the Titans can kneel down.
Jacksonville all out of timeouts. 2 minutes remaining. 23-17 Titans. Jared Cook has had a tremendous couple of weeks. 272 yards now over the last 2 games for Jared Cook. Gabbard can only watch. And they will take a knee, and Jacksonville can't do anything to stop the clock. And once again, coming up on the Subway postgame show, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Tennessee Titans will stay alive, still with an outside shot at the postseason. And if you want to look ahead for Jacksonville, one of the areas of need continues to be at wide receiver. They've gone after a few of the guys early in the draft in the past, guys like Ernest Wilford, Reggie Williams, Matt Jones. None of those guys panned out. But perhaps next April, they'd have to take a hard look at a guy like Justin Blackmon from Oklahoma State, who most people regard as a top 5 pick. Jacksonville would love to follow the Cincinnati model and have a talented young wideout who can develop along with their young quarterback.
I think when you talk about Blaine Gabbert and the season he's had, I don't know that he's answered every question about his future as an NFL quarterback. He's got to stand in the pocket better. Got to be willing to accept some contact during those pass plays. But no question, he can make every throw that is asked of him to make.
Big day for Matt Hasselbeck. 24 of 40. He will end with 350 yards, touchdown and 2 interceptions. And the Tennessee Titans will come away with a 23-17 win. Jacksonville will fall to 4-11, and the Titans move their record to 8-7. So our final score, Tennessee 23, Jacksonville 17. For Steve Tasker, Bill McAtee saying so long from Nashville. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Time now for the Subway postgame show. Let's go to JB in New York.
All right, Bill, thank you so very much.